The problem is Alhaji Bawumia,
which has occasioned the suffering and hardships we are going through.
He doesn't understand that he's entirely visionless. He doesn't understand that he's totally bereft of ideas.
It's largely as a result of the recklessness and the mismanagement of the Bawumia chaired economic mismanagement team.
Abrachefo, yede asemde enene yede ewo mukwano. Ene say Zion's Home Care Service ede abase mwa mama wo Ghana omuni sebehwesofo ombehwe wo mo no eye asemde ene yede nam omoye service bi say assisting living, home health care, custodial care, any services bebre ebia omami enyini sebi owo yare bi enu nti obi ampese obeboa obetime de omako Zion's Home Care Service na omubeshe umame amount. Enti omu number no for more information ubetimi afre 0543 926 236. Ana mo amoso mo amanone I mean abroad +31 62 51 47 236. Afen so omu wo website bebrene so wo Facebook Zion Home Care 1 at yahoo.com. Ana ewo Instagram no Zion_home care yedamasi.
Election 2024 ni nsemo a efrimu eba. Abusuama show say higher Melcom Studios as usual. Unim say anytime bia ye brese ya na amanyosemo komo na ye ba bedi. Ensemo aba beto ya kono so bi ene say chairman Aseidu Nketiah de nsem bia ba betudra efa election 2024 ye kwa akotu. And also that be run nsem fufu mu so no Malik Basintale de nsem bia ba betudra na nsem ode ba betudra no be so wa se wa sa bejebre na ye ko videos na onso wonya bi aka won nsem fufu mu nso mu bi mu no Sammy Gyamfi a wo national communicator ma the National Democratic Congress de nsem bia ba betudra na nsem ode ba betudra no wone lecture ba ko bi issue aye asansem no be so wa so bejebre na ye wura asansem no ye twan ho ba na ye ba ye be run se and somewhere decline no NDC election 2024 aye kwa akoto and somewhere efri mobile na unim say chairman Aseidu Nketiah de nsem bi betu dwa say ono say oye NDC chairman party enya ade a ono obeji atum say peace declaration form no obeji atum say National Democratic Congress for enkonkosan na omu no che ni nsem mu say wakai say election 2020 ye kwa akoto aba how MPP koko share peace council achi edi nsem money so chire mu kan nsem ni ko kan say techi Mike South Oko no ma NDC mebu no e wo no no MPP 2020 abato no omo boye mebu no e wo no no nwatwe etu o kai se ayawaso by election Sam George obi hwe na so no Sammy a oku bodyguard ebeji tumu ye frɛ no double ebeji tumu se ampa ono na hwe Sam George aso no saa nsɛm nyina so mo kan nyina bomu a ɛno na mo ono Aseidu Nketiah chairman then say ne bo say ono 2024 elections and had the obeche atum say alongside peace declaration form.
What do you do with the overtures to you and to the MPP to sit for peace? You started by talking about, yes, you're admitting you're coming to you to sign declarations, then you're just recounting the evidence in the past. Are you at the point yet where you're ready to sign a declaration?
The declaration don't mean anything to us.
A peace declaration? It doesn't mean anything to you?
It doesn't mean anything to us because all previous declarations have not been adhered to and those declarations have not solved any problem. If you allow violence to be brewed, you have violence, whether you sign declaration or not. And so that is why for more than a year ago, I started talking about the need for us to remove the building blocks for violent elections. So at any stage, when something is happening, I call on those who in future will call us to sign declarations to speak up so that we stop this particular thing from happening. Otherwise, if you allow all those things to build up, and you say that, let us go and play peace football match. Let us sign declaration. Let us do this with the hope that we will get a peaceful election. Peaceful election will not happen. Because we did all this in 2020. All this and more in 2020. Council of State, Peace Council, everybody was involved, signing declarations left, right, center. The 2020 election turned out to be the most violent elections in the whole of the Fourth Republic.
So this year, no
So
signing
it tells you that signing or no signing is not the issue. What we have to talk about is the building blocks that will create the.
One sem fufu mu nso no Sammy Gyamfi me chair the NDC communicator and in nsem bi aba betu dwa bra mo ko tena Metro TV and in nsem bi ko tu dwa na ono ne one lecturer bi our economist outside communicator ma the MPP party amoko ko share na nsem a esi ye no me pese me de mu chirimu nyina beba ye ko de ko video no say de esitie
You see, my brother is shouting and
that's probably how he speaks. This is the first
sure. Banding a lot of economic
probably how he
jargons,
speaks,
you know,
so
but he's not addressing the issues. Doc, we are saying that the economic quagmire we were plunged into in 2020, the ramifications of which we are still experiencing, which has occasioned the suffering and hardships we are going through, is largely as a result of the recklessness and the mismanagement of the Bawumia chaired economic mismanagement team. He is saying that no, it's because of COVID-19 and Russia, Ukraine. Doc, he said that the budget deficit in 2020 was 11.7%, right? And I corrected
No, but we have dealt with that issue. It was
has
below
he
the
now
line.
accepted?
No, it's below the
No,
line.
so let me give him another evidence so that he won't repeat that claim anywhere again. Doc, page 27 of Bawumia's own lecture. Let me give you the title of the lecture. This was a lecture by Bawumia at the National TESCON Conference, Millennium City, Kaswa, Yesu Krum, 7th April 2022. Look, 7th April 2022. Page 27. Anybody can Google it. When I cite documents, I just want people to authenticate and see that we are talking about facts here. Bawumia has table 4 in his speech. And the title is Fiscal Deficit, GDP percent in selected African countries. Ghana, 2020, 15%. So even Bawumia is quoting 15%. The World Bank is 16%.
That's
so don't say 11%. Now he has moved from that. Okay. Now he says that I am comparing Francophone countries to Ghana. But that was not what I did. I compared Ghana's inflation rate of 54% to inflation rate of other African countries. I was referring to all the 54 countries in Africa. And that is why you heard me mention Nigeria. Is Nigeria a Francophone country?
Okay, but you mentioned Cote d'Ivoire.
Yes, so it was not just Burkina and Cote d'Ivoire, the Francophone countries. I mentioned Nigeria.
Okay.
What was the inflation rate of Nigeria in 2022? 18.8%. So if we did 54%, you can't say that it is because of COVID or Russia, Ukraine.
Right.
That's number 2.
Okay.
Now, Doc, even on the argument of, don't compare Ghana to Francophone countries, well, totally, I don't
He's
understand.
giving us the reason.
No, he said that, because of floating, exchange rate, blah, 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 and that no economics will compare Ghana. Are you a better economist than Bawumia?
No, you don't understand what
Are you
saying.
a better economist than Bawumia?
They practice PET.
Hold on. Are you a better economist than
What's
Bawumia?
the point you're making?
Yes.
This is page 27 of Bawumia.
What does it say?
Please, hold on.
We will say what
I
it
didn't
says.
interject you once.
Doc, hold on.
Yeah.
Bawumia is
Let's hear him.
comparing Ghana
Yes.
to 4 African countries.
Okay.
In terms of budget deficit, page 27 of his lecture. And the African countries include Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
Let me take you to page 12 on inflation, what we are discussing today. Page 12. In fact, page 14. Inflation rate in selected African countries. He does the comparison and analysis. You don't have time, I would have read that to you.
Yeah.
He compares that to USA, UK, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana. That is the table. What is the meaning of this? Who introduced Cote d'Ivoire and Francophone countries as comparators in Ghana's political discourse? Is it not Akufo-Addo and Bawumia? And today you are coming to sit here propounding, strange economic theories that you can't compare Ghana to Cote
It's not
d'Ivoire.
strange.
What are you
That's
talking about?
his view. It's not strange.
And his view is not born out by the fact.
That's why I asked him.
Yes.
When that theory, how long has been existing?
That view is even flawed, inherently flawed. Let me demonstrate that to you.
Right.
You see, you may be an economic lecturer, but you see,
so go to the point.
Look, Doc, inherently flawed. If you claim that high inflation we chopped in Ghana was because of global factors, and that Biden was even affected, then Francophone countries were not an exception. If Biden's America was affected by the factors we were talking about, then the Francophone countries, whether their currency is pegged to the euro or whatever, will not be an exception.
No, you don't
so
understand
in that same case,
I mentioned the transmission mechanism. That's what I said, right?
I have a master's degree in economic
No,
policy.
you don't understand it.
I have studied monetary policy just like you. Yes.
What is the transmission mechanism?
Please.
You don't understand it.
Let me talk
No,
about
you
you
don't
don't
understand.
understand.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Frank,
You don't understand it. I said it happened.
I didn't interject
when there
you.
is a pandemic.
Okay.
And I gave you the case of 1999 to
So
1933.
look at this.
Which altered the gold standard to the dollar.
Chief,
Frank, hold
Go
on.
to your lecture and let me talk economics. You don't understand it.
Chief.
No, don't come and misquote me and say that what you are saying. You don't understand economics.
Chief.
Monetary I supervise master students.
Chief.
Just like yourself.
Chief.
What do they write?
Chief.
You don't understand the transmission mechanism.
Hold on.
So please don't misquote me.
That's fine.
Quote me
You
well.
made your
That's what I'm saying. Correct you.
Frank, you made a
Don't
point.
misquote me.
Look, we are not having a shouting match.
It's okay.
I was
No, but
there
I'll
when you
correct you.
engaged him
No, I'll
for
correct you.
about 10 minutes and you went on and on and on.
I'll correct
You are saying that I compare Ghana to Francophone countries.
Yes.
That is a lie. Relative to inflation, I cited inflation rate in Africa in 2022.
You've demonstrated
And Ghana's inflation rate was the third highest.
You've demonstrated
Nigeria is not a Francophone country. I cited that. You lied.
Right.
Number two, I want to demonstrate to you that in terms of comparing Ghana to Francophone countries, it is Bawumia who knows economics better than you who taught us that. And I have read his economic lectures where he compares Ghana's inflation rate to that of Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana's budget deficit to that of Cote d'Ivoire. So if you are saying that Bawumia Bonwa, say so. Okay. Now again,
can we move to?
No, hold on, Doc. I beg you. He had 10 minutes. Let's deal with this.
No.
Doc, I beg you. I'll do this in
all
2 3 minutes. Sure, no problem.
For the youth manifesto.
Look, he sat here right now. You see, when they pretend as if they know everything, they end up even contradicting themselves. During his first submission, he stated that the economic challenges we experienced in 2015-2016 was without exogenous shocks. Didn't you hear him say that? Then the 6th year again, second submission, say Ghana, our export earnings has to do with our commodities, our good oil. What happened in 2015-2016 with our commodity prices? Whether it was oil or gold or cocoa, total collapse of international commodity prices. And you sit here, you say you supervise master students, and you tell us that exogenous factors did not affect Ghana's economy. What are you talking about? Then again, let me educate you on the law. Master, let me make my point. Let the viewers judge. Let the viewers judge. Let me make my point. Let the viewers judge. I did not interject you. You keep on interjecting me, and I can do that better than you.
I don't care what
so let me make my point. Let me make my point.
You see,
let me make my point.
I spoke about pandemic.
Let me make my point. It is my time. Why are you interjecting me?
During the era of the NDC.
Stop this.
That's what I said.
Stop this.
Why are you screaming? It is my time.
Resulting in this exogenous impact. That is where I made my argument from.
Frank, please.
When you were speaking, I didn't utter a word. When you were speaking, I didn't utter a word.
Guys,
how did I misquote you?
That's what I'm correcting you.
I was showing you a video now, but saying I want to say student lecture actually na deda na what you mean lecture no so no mum na school lecture no say lecture no mum so na the refi edition usua I don't know what they also wadwen you no me so fashion comment section no ase emaye na ye nyina ye mobo one sem fufu mum so no nim say the same communicators no that is the Sammy Gyamfi ne deputy no Malik Basintale so can say we about 2 years na me some of the about 2 years no Charlie we yanko or the yanko dey go video nearby some all we na
alone deters them from even stepping out and thinking of doing something on the streets because today even if you are gainfully employed it is as though you are not employed And the last time I said, a lot of the jobs we do today are what we call pakokpa jobs, because you go to work 30 days in a month, they pay you a salary, and within 1 week that salary has been consumed. Today, the youth out there watching will confirm to me that indeed, if you want to even send mobile money to someone, and you don't ask the person which number you should send it to, and you make a mistake and send it to the person's number, you will regret, because you will be paying the debt somebody is owing for 2 months, and you would have to send new money again to that particular person. Many youth out there are in crisis. Many youth out there are struggling. Breakfast today, the average breakfast today costs no less than 30 Ghana cedi. A young man here who is traveling from Medina to Accra to work will spend no less than 20 Ghana cedis in and about 20 Ghana cedis out again. 40 cedis. Those days, anytime I had transport fares of 10 cedis, I used to know that it was Uber or taxi dropping. Today, some trotro fares go as high as 20 Ghana cedis.
Right.
That is abnormal in our society.
And that's why the MPP government, Dr. Bawumia, is saying that, well, we've listened to the plight of Ghanaians. We've realized that this is the challenge. And so to mitigate that, specifically cost of transport, we're bringing in some new buses, electric buses, by December. This is not next year, December.
The only way we can reduce cost of living in this country is to vote out the problem of the country. The problem is Alhaji Bawumia, and he doesn't even understand that he's the problem. If he did understand that he were the problem, it would have been better for us, and Ghanaians would have had a soft spot to even listen to him. But at this point, he doesn't understand that he himself is entirely clueless. He doesn't understand that he's entirely visionless. He doesn't understand that he's totally bereft of ideas. And he doesn't even understand that he is the liar, the chief liar of this country. And you cannot run a country with dishonesty, with irresponsibility, and with the state at which they are recklessly, mismanaging everything in the economy. So that panacea, yes, nobody has said the electric corridor is not the way to go. 2 days ago, you saw President Mahama driving an electric car. He was trying it. But people know that when it's got to do with innovation, when it's got to do with prudent management, then it's got to do with President Mahama. But if you want somebody who would say one thing and do another, who would lie, why? Bawumia has a history of saying that he was going to give even Okada riders free cars, and you exchange your motorbike for an Uber. You remember?
The Koda vehicles.
The Koda vehicles. What happened to that policy?
They started with some 200.
They brought about 10 or is it 15 and gave to their youth organizers. No Okada person in this country got a single one. And if you want to bring Okada people into the studio and ask them, he simply lied in 2020. They told us they were going to bring sky trains. You remember? And we see what saddens my heart in that particular policy is that more than $2 million was already paid to the contractor. And at the end of the day, they said that particular policy cannot be implemented. Yet, you have already paid money. So anywhere you hear Alhaji Bawumia mentioning a policy, it means that there's an avenue to siphon money. There's an avenue to dupe the state. And they would always implement things that will become non-starters. Yet, they will dole out monies and pay for those particular projects. He should tell us what happened to the SkyTrain system. What happened to it? They told us it was going to be a means of transport. Even the Ayalolo buses President Mahama brought, they grounded them. Go to Achimota, the station. Sometimes when I look at them, I become so teary that people are struggling with transportation in this country. Yet as a result of your wickedness and your selfishness, you have grounded buses your predecessor brought, all in the name of politics. Kojo, why do we do this to ourselves? As young people, I think we must change the narrative. Let's try and help our generation. The older generation have admitted that as a result of very reckless and wicked ones like Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, their generation have failed, and they declare themselves that yes, they have not been able to live up to tax.
But Dr. Bawumia,
unfortunately, they had leaders like Akufo-Addo, they had Bawumia as part of their generation. And those two people have poured sand in their gari. But you and I must take the mantle and let's strive to create a difference for the next generation of youth in this country.
But Dr. Bawumia says that, you know what, I've heard your plight. In fact, I have had over 7 years to study the economy of Ghana, know how the dynamics go. And so I'm better placed now to be able to steer the affairs of the country going into the future.
So the first question you must ask him is, what is his solution to the problems we currently find ourselves in? In fact, what are the solutions to the problems he caused for this particular country? If you want to realize that Bawumia is totally bereft of ideas, listen to his campaigns. He has 3 messages. He says, vote for me because I'm a Muslim. He said, vote for me because I'm a northerner. Now the new message is that vote for me because I'm a brand new president and I'm not a home use president. Look at such a character.
But are we not majoring on the minors then? Because he presented a manifesto telling us exactly why he should be voted
so
for.
tell me one peculiar problem that his manifesto solves. Tell me, I'm sitting here. Give me one policy that his manifesto seeks to solve. Tell me, I mean,
he's talked about digitalization.
Is that the solution to which problem?
Yeah, he's talking about how the world is going. We need to get digitalized. For which reason? That would also build the economy.
My brother,
we'll join other countries that are doing so well.
The biggest challenge we have in this country now is unemployment, whether you like it or not. I have repeatedly said that you don't create solutions to non-existent problems. When you do that, the solution will become a problem in the long run. We were in this country when they said they were going to build a national cathedral. We told them it was not the solution to any problem, you remember? And we told them that people already had facilities, they were holding conferences and whatever in. There's no church that needs the national cathedral for anything. They run their churches by themselves. And so that national cathedral was not a solution to any problem. They refused to listen to us. They started a project. $1 billion have been squandered and siphoned and nest. At a point in time, one human being was even 2 people on the board. We don't know today whether he was Victor Kusi Boateng or whether he's Reverend Gyamfi. We don't know. People just use dubious means to siphon monies. Look, the one who took pen and paper and drew the National Cathedral, David Ajayi, was paid 125 million for just drawing the plan and giving to the country. 2 days he raised a certificate, they paid him the monies. Recklessly spent monies and mismanaged all the funds that were given to them to build that cathedral. Today, go and look at the state of the cathedral. It has become the biggest problem to the people of this country. And the last time I was telling President Mahama that, look, that particular project, I have an interest in it. We shouldn't only retrieve the funds, but we should let the people use shovels and refill the hole they have dug there. When they finish refilling it, we should build an anti-corruption agency there and put a prison just by its side. Start sentencing all the people who dug that hole. You see, my pain in that particular project is that they didn't only sink the hole, they collapsed high-rise buildings. You know how rent is expensive in Accra today. Yeah. And plush buildings that belonged to judges. You have the effrontery to collapse them. And you took judges, went and rented for them at a high cost, at the expense of you and I, our taxes. The passport office and other high-rise buildings that were there, they collapsed all of them, leading this country into huge financial loss. After you finished with that, you then sink a hole and you leave it. And that hole has virtually become a Galamsey pit. So this government is entirely bereft of ideas and panaceas to the problems of this country. Again, they told us one of the problems of this country was that our presidential jet was faulty and couldn't fly. You saw the problem they created in that. They went around hiring private jets. If today President Akufo-Addo wants to watch a Liverpool UEFA Champions League finals at Madrid, they'll go and rent a private jet, pay £14,000 an hour. It will fly him there to go and sit and watch a football match. Look, these are the things President Mahama says I won't do. If I want to watch a UEFA Champions League match, I will renew my DSTV with 200 cedis, sit in my house, and I'll watch the match live. You, Akufo-Addo, can you even stand in the stadium and watch the match down there? Yet you want to be in the stadium at all costs, all at the expense of the taxpayer. So the point I'm making is that this government does not understand the problem we find ourselves in. The youth of this country need jobs. Our growth rates are dwindling. GDP is on the low. Our debt is skyrocketing. And you come and stand there and you think it's a laughing matter. It's a playing matter. Anywhere you find yourself, then a child will be shouting boaben, boaben, and you'll be pressing the horn. Look at what an adult has virtually reduced himself into. President Mahama, at every given opportunity, professes solution to the problems we find ourselves.
And you think with the issue of unemployment, the NPP has not preferred any solution?
Not a single solution. All what they have been saying have been whack. They have read their manifesto, 216 pages. And Kojo, I dare tell you that 216 pages of plain sheets are better than 216 pages of the MPP's manifesto. Because at least the plain sheets can be useful to you and I to print new documents. But the MPP's manifesto is entirely empty. It is entirely a repetition of things they have said before, and it's entirely a total disaster to the corridors of this country. Take the manifesto, go into it, and tell me a single solution they have professed. Rather, The problems they have bestowed on us, that is what Alhaji Bawumia has gotten the effrontery to mount a podium and pretend as if his solutions are going to solve the problems he has bestowed on us. E-levy, you Alhaji Bawumia, the only advice you have given to Akufo-Addo since you became his vice president is to tax. They brought an e-levy tax unnecessary. The whole world, the only country that still charges COVID-19 tax is Ghana, under the auspices of Alhaji Bawumia. The whole world, the only country that taxes Bola tax, sanitation tax, is Ghana, under the auspices of Bawumia. Betting that youth have been engaging in small. And I'm not saying betting is a good thing, but if the youth of this country have jobs, they will not bet. They bet because they don't have jobs. Now you, Bawumia.
So are you saying those who bet are people who don't have jobs? Because I know people who have jobs and still bet.
That means that the jobs they are doing are papa jobs. Their salary is not enough for them. And I already told you that there are people who go to work, but even if they didn't go to work, it would have been better because their salary is not sufficient. People engage in these bettings because they need extra source of finances. You, Bawumia, you pretended as if you were a Muslim and you are a Malam and you gave haram to betting. Yet when they cook the pig soup, you now beg them to give you some of the soup to drink. If you don't want betting, cancel it. If you are allergic to pig meat, you don't drink pig soup. Now you have told the youth of this country that you can bet. When you win the bet, I beg you, give me 10% to also chop. Is that not a hypocrite? Is that not a liar? Is that not a wicked man? So clearly they are bereft of ideas. Look, at every opportunity given to President Mahama, he professes solutions to the problems of this country. President Mahama sat down and thought that everybody in this country have been working within 8 years. And if you want to test the 8 hours, and if you want to test that this country is running at a one-way shift, in the morning, look at the direction of traffic. In the evening, look at the direction of traffic. What it tells you, and
I was say no, Malik Basintale is on the talk of the GH, what you say, a man for a Haley a branch teacher, say a branch and a Leonard Akasa. Just do anytime beyond one MPP for an issue and it's a Muyade, Umudrani. And you know, Abusia, best show say higher Milcom Studios. Send any day they can only made the issue. One show say, over subscribe to your YouTube channel. Anytime beyond our permanent, send Papa Biana, the show. And flip out. Until we meet again, bye-bye.
Nice that. In the morning, everybody goes towards one direction because we are all going to work within 8 hours. In the evening after 4 p.m., if you are going back to Medina, you will see the traffic going back. The same people who came to work are the same people going back. So that one-way economy cannot compete with other countries that are running a 3-shift system. So President Mahama says, look, I would meet industry and we'll discuss with them how we can also do a 3-shift system. Then he made the TUC. And TUC says that one of the reasons why we cannot run a 3-shift system, or some of the reasons why we can't run a 3-shift system, is because our taxes are high. It's because electricity tariffs are high. And some of us even fear to work in the night. These days, mobile money vendors close as early
security
as,
concerns are there.
Absolutely.
Cost of production is also there.
Absolutely. So President Mahama says, if you promise me that your jobs will run 3 shifts and recruit 3 more people at specific jobs in your company, I would then meet you halfway. So the monies I would have used to employ more than 1,600 presidential staffers and be paying them at the presidency, that will boost the amount that is taken to Office of Government Machinery to about 2 billion. I'll reduce it and take only 400 million to the Office of Government Machinery. The remaining change, I'll use part of it to give you subsidized taxes. I'll use part of it to give you time of use meters to reduce your electricity tariffs. And I'll use part of it to recruit security people to guard your companies in the night, so that you can work at a 3-shift system. So the TUC says, fantastic. What you, President Mahama, is telling us is that one job will now recruit 3 people and run a 3-shift. So in the morning, you have people going. When they close and they are coming home, another group will be going for the 2nd shift. When they close and they are coming home, the 3rd group will be going for the 3rd shift. And then we'll be able to run at the full 24-hour system in this country. How difficult is this to understand?
Thank you.